Welcome, stars. This is G. We have a full moon coming up. We'll give out some basic keywords just for the moon, and you can apply that to every and any full moon you encounter. And then the next level of information is the sign that it's in. Every full moon is going to be in a particular zodiac sign. What sign is this full moon going to be in? We're going to talk about that. And then we're going to dive a little bit deeper, and we're going to talk about the meanings of that sign. This is the April 2022 full moon of Libra. All right, so anytime you have a full moon, it is an increase of emotions. It's your family, it's feminine energy, strong feminine energy. So you could be talking about females in your life, but also anybody exudes a feminine quality. Okay, the moon is associated with the mother. The moon is nurturing and family and home. So it's also the foundation of childhood. You know, when you were being breastfed or whether you weren't being breastfed. We associate the moon to the mother wound, because it's all about mom energy. And your upbringing goes back to history a little bit of your ancestral history, but also goes back to your soul's history. It's your physical home, but it's also, and even I think more importantly, your inner home, what you hold within yourself here, the connection between your heart and your mind, how you hold your place of peace, if you have a place of peace, what you need, emotional needs. That is the moon energy, emotional needs. So the moon is the ruler of the sign of Cancer. When you meet people who are Cancerian energy, whether it's in the way that they talk or it's their birth sign, the sign of Cancer, they usually have some sort of a quality about them where they just kind of feel good to be around, right? Because they have this, they almost feel comfortable. They almost feel as though like that warm, worn slipper or that nice wool thick blanket. They're comforting to be around. There's something about them and that feels like they're nurturing you. So maybe it's through their conversation, maybe it's through their food, maybe it's just sitting next to them and feeling their energy. There's this, but there's some form or some necessity, some sort of a need, some sort of an emotional security that's being fulfilled when you communicate with them. Now, when we think about the home and we think about our inner emotional world and how inside of our minds we live in a body, and so the body we can kind of think of as our physical home, but then that physical home also has to rest in another physical home. Everybody's idea of home is going to be very different, and everybody's needs for the home are also going to be different. So for this full moon, it's going to highlight relationships, significant one-on-one relationships, people who you thought they were really important to you in your life, or vice versa, people who you thought you were really important to them in their life. And now this can be personal relationships, marriage, partnerships, but it can also be business partnerships. It is normally the time when we are doing a grand release, a letting go. We get the meaning from the moon cycles, literally what goes on up there in the sky, in the universe. And so the moon has a 28-day cycle. And then at the 28th day, you have your full moon. And at that 28th day, it's because the moon reached its peak. The full moon is the end, it's the culmination, the height of the waxing. I have to draw boundaries somewhere. I have to say, this person is squashing my independence, or somehow I feel trapped in some way. I feel like there's not enough freedom in this relationship. And if we don't have the freedom, we kind of cut those cords loose, or we kind of let those strings go, or we let those people go, or we decide that's no longer important to me. That no longer has a place in my life. Every full moon is about a release. Every full moon is going to have highlighted feminine energies, nurturing, mom, mother, home, feelings, and emotions. That is always for every full moon. Now, that's the really private, small, micro meaning of the full moon energy. The macro meaning for the full moon would be the public, because the moon, on a grand scale, the macro is people. It's people in general, the masses, right? So it's like that, the emotions of the public, the sentiment of the public, like what are we talking about? What are our conversations? What are we thinking about? What are we feeling? And that is the full moon. What are you feeling? Libra energy is business and money. It's money and business partnerships, right? So this could be legalities, this could be the law as well, because that's Libra energy. It's all about the scales of balance, right? The left and the right, things being fair and equal. So that's also a big deal when we talk about relationships and saying goodbye to certain relationships. Because as I'm looking at the chart here, it's telling me, you're reassessing and you're asking yourself, it's almost like we're keeping a tally. And so maybe sometimes a lot of relationships don't work real good when there are people who keep tallies, right? You got to decide what's right for you. But having the moon there, it's definitely screams family. It definitely screams people that are important to you. It definitely screams possibly mom energy, or if you have been a mother to others. And this could be people who are friends in your life, people who feel like family but aren't blood family. Healing Hearts Meditation, one of the comments under the channel, she was saying, thank God for her soul family. And I was saying, oh my God, yeah, I'd be really lonely without our soul family, because we don't always vibe with our blood family. Doesn't mean we don't like our blood family or that we hate them. It's just that when you come into contact with your soul family, there's just something extra there, and especially, how it is when you're around family all the time. You get, there's some times where it's like they get on your everlasting nerve. And so sometimes the soul family, it's perfect because they're not your blood family, yet they're there for you when you need them. And they didn't grow up with you, in each other's face. And so for some, balance is extremely important in relationships. And so if they don't have it, like if they feel they're giving more, they're going to have a problem, right? This full moon it kind of highlights that. It's kind of like, okay, damn it, that's the last straw. Keep in mind, we've got that Mercury retrograde, not until May, but we also have the new moon solar eclipse coming up at the very end of this month. But let's not forget, we have a Pluto that's going to stand still.